Despite incredible progress in global health, a stark reality remains. Billions of people still can't access the medicines and healthcare they desperately need. From life-saving treatments for chronic diseases to critical interventions against common infections and outbreaks, much of the world is left behind. Half of the global population still struggles to reach basic healthcare services, deepening the divide between those with access and those without. At the Access to Medicine Foundation, we're on a mission to close that gap. Our work is focused on guiding pharmaceutical companies to make their products affordable and available in low and middle income countries. Now, in its 9th edition, the 2024 Access to Medicine Index continues to shine a spotlight on how the pharmaceutical industry is stepping up or falling short in ensuring that essential medicines reach the people who need them most. A major highlight of the 2024 index is its focus on the critical issue of how pharmaceutical companies are reaching patients worldwide, especially in low and middle income countries. This shift highlights the need for pharmaceutical companies to not only develop healthcare products, but also ensure they reach the people who need them most. In the 2024 index, Novartis, for the first time, holds the #1 spot, followed by GSK. Sanofi has risen to 3rd, with Pfizer in 4th, and AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson in 5th. These companies hold the top spots due to their stronger performance across multiple indicators in improving equitable access to their healthcare products in low and middle income countries. While others have made efforts, these companies have shown more progress in the areas we evaluate, but there remains significant potential for further improvement across the industry, as none have come close to achieving the full score of 5. The 2024 Access to Medicine Index indicates that while there has been specific progress on several fronts, the overall momentum of progress has slowed down. The 2024 Access to Medicine Index has identified 3 key findings. The first key finding reveals that pharma companies are starting to focus on improving access to medicine in low-income countries by integrating new approaches within their business models. Across 5 different inclusive business models, companies have committed to making their products available in 102 countries. But real transformative change is still a long way ahead. The report reveals a significant disparity in product coverage by access strategies, with only 39% of products covered in low-income countries, compared to 76% in lower middle-income countries and 85% in upper middle-income countries. Too many vulnerable patients in underserved regions with a high burden of disease are still being left behind. These models and strategies have the potential to improve their lives, thus making it critical to transparently report progress, particularly data on patients reached. Clear, open reporting not only tracks impact, but also highlights sustainable, scalable solutions to chronic access challenges in low-income countries, which other companies can adopt and build upon. The second key finding highlights that patients in lower-income countries are largely left out of clinical trials, limiting their access to new and potentially life-saving treatments. We're seeing a serious imbalance when it comes to where clinical trials are being run by pharmaceutical companies. In fact, only 43% of trials are being conducted across 113 low and middle income countries in the scope of the index. This disparity is even more pronounced in lower income countries, where only 3.6% of trials occur, meaning that genetically distinct populations are not included in these trials, and nor will they receive access after the products are approved elsewhere. This is a big problem. Access planning during clinical trials is critical to ensure that new treatments reach those in need after regulatory approval. Most companies in the scope of the index have clearly stated that they will only or mainly seek approvals in countries where they run clinical trials. Since trials are conducted in only a few low and middle income countries, access plans are often confined to these regions, ultimately widening the access gaps instead of closing them. To change this, companies and partners need to engage and invest in building clinical trial capacities in these underserved areas. By doing so, we can ensure more people in more places can get faster access to life-saving treatments. The third key finding indicates that pharma companies' efforts to ramp up local availability of medicine are stagnating. voluntary licensing and technology transfers to local manufacturers have been proven to be the best ways to address access at scale, especially for innovative products. The COVID-19 pandemic initially sparked real progress in improving access to medicines and boosting local manufacturing. However, the 2024 index finds a significant slowdown with a drop in licensing activity. During the analysis period for the last index report in 2022, 6 non-exclusive voluntary licenses were issued, compared to only 2 new licenses in the 2024 index, with 1 additional license granted outside the analysis period. And now, when we talk about companies' technology transfer initiatives, we are seeing that they are mainly being concentrated in a few selected countries, with efforts lagging in Africa. The 2024 Access to Medicine Index identified 47 initiatives, most of which are focused on India, Brazil, and China. Africa bears 20% of the global disease burden, and countries in this region must heavily rely on imports for 70 to 90% of pharmaceutical products. Yet, local manufacturers in this region already produce high-quality oral and injectable medicines for diseases like malaria and HIV. Companies need to partner with these manufacturers to boost access and strengthen local production capacity. With voluntary licensing falling behind and technology transfers limited to specific regions, the potential to maximize local availability of essential healthcare products is not being realized. Companies should aim to create synergies across their portfolios by identifying products that are best suited for local or regional production and those that could benefit from voluntary licensing. In doing so, they should prioritize partnerships with local manufacturers capable of ensuring quality-assured production and facilitate technology transfers. By working together, we can ensure a steady supply of medicines and help build strong, self-sustaining healthcare systems in low and middle-income countries, providing patients reliable access to life-changing products. Everyone, regardless of geographical location, background, or financial situation, deserves access to life-saving medicines. Ask yourself, what am I doing to make this a reality? As an investor, your role is crucial. Invest with purpose and support companies committed to improving access to healthcare and driving positive change. As a policymaker, you have the power to remove barriers, simplify regulations, accelerate product approvals, and build partnerships to ensure medicines reach those in need. If you're in the healthcare industry, reflect on your impact. Are your policies truly meeting people's needs? Are your life-saving products reaching those who need them the most? The question is, are you ready for the challenge? Join us in building a world where no one is left behind.